Hello, I'm here with Erling Roland. He is a professor of educational psychology. And today we're talking about bullying. So, if we think there is some bullying going on, is it easy to detect bullying?
Sometimes it can be easy. It can be easily seen. For example, physical bullying is not very difficult to detect often, but much bullying is difficult to detect, especially the exclusion form. We often say that the girl bullying, bullying amongst the girls, are often very difficult to detect. There are also small, tiny signs that they use and so on. But it helps, of course, very much if a teacher knows the pupil well. Then the teacher will have more information and be able to see more himself or herself. And there are certain signs also. For example, parents can tell teacher that oh, girl really don't want to go to school. There are much headache in the morning and so on. They feel sick. That is signs to look for. Sometimes a victim will go very late to school in the morning, not to meet anyone, or very early, or another route than the most logical one, and so on. Sometimes the victim will learn slower, the marks will go down, they often seems to be unhappy, don't want to go out in the afternoon, in the evening. So that is signs to look for directly with the victim. Also the atmosphere in the class can be important. If there are many cliques there, groups, bad atmosphere, bad culture there, that can be an indicator. So it is difficult to say that there is one or two very certain signs. It's better to be open-minded and look for many signs and many different signs. And to communicate with the parents also, that is important.
Right. Yeah. So, what should be done if bullying is detected?
It is important that something then is done really, because if not, the pupils will think that this is okay. The teachers, the school doesn't care, and that is a dangerous sign, I will say. So it is important that something is done. And what should be done then? The first thing that should be done is that the class teacher, that is the best if the teacher can do this. The teacher who knows the pupils well should first talk with the victim in a room, being alone with the victim, and comfort the victim, and really say that I know what is going on. The victim is also sometimes so afraid that they don't want to talk, they don't want to say anything. So the teachers should really know, be informed enough to say to the victim, I know that you are a victim of bullying, and continue by saying that I and the school will help you as much as we can. And the victim should also be told that he or she should be informed about what will happen, what will be done towards the bullies, for example, because they are often very afraid of that.
And you talk to the victim before you start talking to the bullies.
That is best, because it is not good to feel that something is going on with bullies, for example. teacher talking with the bullies without being involved, without knowing what is going on. So that is one reason why it is best to start with the victim and to comfort the victim, and to end the first conversation. That can be, for example, 15 minutes, by saying that we will meet again and set a date for that, so that the victim really knows that he or she will be followed up.
Right. And what about the bullies? Do they call them in all together? If there are, let's say it's 3 bullies, for instance.
That is the most common mistake, I will say, to call in, if there are 3 bullies, to call them in all together. Then they will be strong, the group will be strong. It is difficult, really, to move them then. So the important procedure is to talk with them one by one.
Right.
The teacher should cooperate with a colleague who teaches the class. The teacher could go into the class, ask the teacher to be allowed to talk with Peter, for example, and saying to Peter, "Come with me." Going to a group room to be alone, and there the teacher should say very firmly that we know what you are doing, and this must stop immediately. So the teacher should not discuss, just tell that this should stop.
No room for discussion, as you said. It's just you have to be firm, and
you have to be firm. But continue by asking the pupil if he or she wants to say anything. Just listen to that, not discuss. That's the main procedure. If you begin to discuss with the bully, you will often lost control over the situation. Many bullies are very clever in tricking the teacher there. So just listen and repeat that this should stop immediately. And that meeting with the bully should not be long, maybe 5 minutes. That's most effective.
Right. So after you've called in the first bully, then it's the same with the next and the third bully, so it's one by one.
Yes, the teacher should follow the first pupil back to class and take with the next one, and exactly the same procedure.
And when you have talked to all the bullies, what then?
Then the time is to leave the last bully right here, go back to the class, ask the first 2 to come, and then to talk with the group. Then it's much easier, and the teacher should then shortly repeat what he or she has talked with the first bully, the next one, and the third one, so that they can relax on that, and then try to build up the group to stop, to cooperate on stopping, and even better to cooperate on helping a little, being kind to the victim, for example. Also, the teacher should say that your parents will be contacted today.
Yeah. What about the parents? Yeah, should they be involved in this?
They should be involved. Normally, yes. The parents of the bullies, and also, of course, the parents of the victim.
Right.
So that will often be the end of the conversation with the victim. That teacher should say, I will contact your parents today if they are not already involved.
And should this be discussed in parents' meetings?
It can be done, but it is the most important is that the teacher communicate in a confident way with the parents of the victim, inform them, agree on what to do, and that agreement should be that the teacher should be in charge of what he's doing. It is not often good if teacher do something and the parents of the victim do other things. It can sometimes be difficult to talk with the parents of the bullies. They can be defensive and even aggressive, but that is not often, I would say. The teacher should be polite but firm. Inform them and ask for cooperation. That is often best to be done by one couple of parents and then the next couple, not all together, but it can be done all together.
Right.
So I would say that the safe procedure will be to talk with the parents of the victim immediately, to talk with the father or mother or both for the one of the bullies, and then another meeting with the next couple and so on.
And if the bullying continues after this, what then?
Yes, this procedure to first talk with the victim, then with the bullies one by one, and then the group, is very effective. But it can fail. And what to do then?
Are there any reactions?
Yes. Imagine that the school, or the teacher and the school simply gives in, nothing can be done. That is bad. So some schools think that we have to move the victim to another school. Of course, if the situation is very, very bad, I will not say that that should not be done, but in principle it should not be done. It is the bullies that should be followed up. And if this first procedure doesn't work, the teacher should address one of the bullies, or one by one, saying that if this doesn't stop immediately, sanctions will be the result for you. And you can, there are many sanctions you can use, and that will be individual also, what kind of sanctions would be right to use towards that and that bully. An example could be that the bully is not allowed to be out in the schoolyard, for example, in the breaks for some time.
What about the class? Should the bullying be discussed in the class?
That is difficult to answer yes or no to that question. It can be done, but if it is done, the victims should be well prepared, informed before the meeting, and also the bullies. And I will also say the parents of both victim and the bullies. And the teacher should really feel that he or she is in control in class if the case is discussed openly in the class. It can be dangerous to do it if this is not well prepared, but it can also be good to do it and effective if the teacher has a good standing in the class or is able to conduct this discussion, inform the other pupils what has happened and what has been agreed and so on. That can be good. So it's really much up to the teacher to feel if this will function and if it should be done, prepare it before the meeting.